Hello, I'm Joe Dillette, and I'm looking at this Zyliss vise as a tool that's very useful for someone that has only the use of one arm. So the vise can be fastened down quite easily to the bench. In this upside down mode, it's good for woodworking blocks like this here. It can be fastened down, and this is for relief carving. It has another attachment that has separate clamps that this goes further down, so if you had something that was very long that you wanted to clamp, then this vise is capable of doing that. Another mode is the right side up mode, and for that we just take, and these clamps are just reversed, and reverse them. I'm trying to do it with one hand, so clamp it back onto the bench. Now, to hold a woodworking project, I have modified the jaws that come with it, and I've lined it with leather, and that gives a nice soft surface to clamp to, and it holds a wooden object quite well. So let's say we're going to work on this bird project. I made this here block that the block can just set in here. The bird can set there, and it's got a quick release mechanism that you can bring up to it, clamp it in, and it holds the bird quite securely. So you can take and reverse the bird, and it doesn't slip in the vise. So it's quite solid. And also round in this fashion too. So this block on the bottom is really good for holding it, so he doesn't have to hold it position up and down as he clamps the vise. So it allows you to use one hand on it. Doing a ball, I have the same type of block that you just set the block on when you start, and then as you're doing the rounding on the block, it stays pretty solid in there. You can hit that pretty good, and it doesn't, so that leather holds it pretty tight. Then as you're doing the rounding on it, still hold it also in this upside down position like that, and then for finishing the ball, I've got a little pocket that I've carved into the wood that just holds that ball, and it just the center of the ball is just slightly below the top of the jaws, so it doesn't pop out. Oh, here it's starting to pop out here. Just push the jaws down on it. And that holds that ball pretty tight. And for smaller projects like this, just a board like this to go in and hold it again in place, and just lay it on the board, clamp it in place, and that holds it very good, very tight. Modifying that board maybe a little deeper for a little larger project. So each of the boards have to be custom made to fit the project you're working on, but that's very easy to do. Very tight in the vise. So that leather in the vise really holds. The vise is also very sturdy, to where if you're clamping right here at the front edge, it doesn't twist the jaws. It keeps the jaws very parallel. Another project, the ball and chain project, same thing with the board. Holds it in place very good. A project like cottonwood bark, put a block in there. This is the same block I used for the ball, and holds the bark about the right height, and then clamp that in place, and that holds it very good. So this vise is very versatile for carving in the round at different angles. I put the board in there again to just hold the piece so you can do one-handed operation and tighten it up. And work on it here. You can pivot it. So it's got two wing nuts in the bottom that you can take and pivot it. And then it will also tip. From here it will drop down 90 degrees. There are also some other attachments for this vise. One is a attachment to hold a drill. You can clamp a drill in there, and in the drill you can use it for stock removal with a burr or for a drill press. Also, there is an attachment for centers. So you can clamp on a piece between two centers and rotate it. And this is the attachment that we were using to pivot the vise. So I think it's a pretty good vise. I think it has some real good possibilities.